Ren Amari sits with her brother Jared on the beach. They go snorkeling and enjoy the magical underwater world until something goes wrong. She wakes up in her bedroom and looks at a countdown clock. Her experience was part of other life, a substance that creates experiences in the brain which mimic reality. Jared drowned and suffered brain damage. He's in a medical coma and living on life support. Ren visits him in the hospital and puts a drop of other life in his eye. Nothing happens. She owns the company, Other Life, with her business partner, Sam. They're a few days away from launching their product. Ren uses herself as a test subject for the virtual experiences. Her father is an expert in the field and warns there will be physical effects on the body because the brain believes that virtual reality is real. Other Life allows people to experience a designed day. The program can't last longer than 24 hours and takes a few seconds in real time. She explores different days with the help of her colleague, Byron. The snowboarding day accidentally loops. Luckily, she wakes up after 5 days. She thinks there's a problem with the coding. Sam pitches to the investors the idea of buying more time with Other Life. They can have more than one holiday on their lunch break. There are also long-term options for training, rehabilitation, and therapy. He introduces Ren to describe the science behind the product. After the meeting, Ren and Sam talk. She wants more testers, but he refuses. She's worried that they've still got errors in the code with only a few days to go. She's also upset that Sam spoke about her 2 restrictions in using the product: a long-term and interactive experience. Sam mentions that some investors have offered a lifeline of funding that could help them, but they can talk about it later. Ren forgot about a date with her boyfriend, Danny. He's understanding. Ren finds an error in the code for the snowboarding day and patches it up. Danny delivers some pages from Sam and stays to chat. Byron talks about using the looping glitch for long-term experiences. Ren is dismissive towards both of them and focuses on coding. Danny gets annoyed and goes for a drink with Byron. Ren privately works on a special Other Life program to help Jared wake up from his coma. She puts a drop of the liquid in his eye, but he doesn't wake up. His eye twitches, and she feels close to a breakthrough. She is trying to figure out the problem on her computer at home when she gets an email from her father. She visits him the next day to confront him about wanting to end Jared's life support. Her father is skeptical about Other Life and worries about the ethics of the product. The mind is complex and cannot be coded. Ren accuses him of giving up on Jared. He doesn't need her permission to switch off Jared's machines, but would like her support. At work, Sam confronts Ren about missing Other Life stock. She's used double the stock than what she's logged. He discovers she's been stealing stock for her brother's experiments without his knowledge. He tells her about a financial lifeline from a government contract. They want to use Other Life for prison sentences. She refuses to listen to him and he gets angry. Ren walks out and sees Danny. He asks her what's wrong, but she doesn't want to talk. They're bad at communicating in general. They make love and there's an awkward silence after. She feels bad and shows him the Other Life snowboarding simulation. He thinks it's amazing and asks if he can go again. Ren is occupied with work and doesn't see him take the Other Life designed for Jared. Danny has a seizure and dies. The company is 4 days away from being launched, and Sam is angry Ren compromised the company by accidentally causing Danny's death. She'll get 10 to 15 years in prison, but there's an offer of taking that sentence away if she agrees to be used as a test subject for a long-term virtual prison sentence. Sam tries to convince her by saying a year in virtual prison will only be a minute in real life. She refuses until he guilts her to agree by pointing out that Danny died because he used an untested sample of hers. The prison sentence will take place in the Other Life headquarters. Byron puts her under, and she wakes up in a small room with a bed, food, water, and items for basic hygiene. One wall consists of a digital timer counting the days of her sentence. She's bored and struggling to cope. She makes notes about how to improve the system. There needs to be more space and some design human interaction, otherwise the entire prison sentence will be spent in solitary confinement. She remembers that the day resets and no one will be able to read the notes she makes. On day 2, she thinks about Danny dying. On day 3, she thinks about her brother's accident and remembers seeing him wash up on the beach. She argues with herself about whether she's any closer to saving Jared. Ren makes mental notes as the days pass. She tries to stay sane. Her focus is to live out the sentence so she can wake up and save Jared. Day 365 arrives. At the end of the day, the timer resets to day 1. She's furious and destroys the room in anger. A panel breaks loose from the wall as she kicks it. There's light behind it, and she manages to break through. She discovers that her prison cell is a box maintained in a warehouse. A security guard monitors her and resets her cell every morning. She steals the security guard's jacket and car. During the year she was in the box, Sam launched Other Life. He's now rich and famous, and Other Life is an incredibly successful company. She goes to the police and tries to explain what happened to her. Her father filed a missing persons report, but no one was looking for her, as Sam made them believe she was in Italy. She shows the police the warehouse, but it's empty. They tell her to go home. Ren returns to her old apartment building, but the desk clerk says someone else has been living in her apartment for a year. She's trying to find out where her research hard drive is when Sam shows up. He speaks to her through the glass door and offers to take her someplace safe. She panics and runs. Sam tries to cut her off, but she sneaks past him. Ren finds a work friend, Cass, who reveals that everyone thought she'd run off to a villa in Italy because that's what Sam told them. She explains that she was imprisoned for killing Danny when Cass cuts her off. Danny was in the hospital for a few days, but was fine. Sam lied to her about him being dead. Danny arrives and hugs Ren. They talk about Other Life. It launched on schedule and was sold out in a few hours. She's horrified when she learns that virtual prison sentences are the main source of money and that they're making people live out many virtual life sentences back to back. Danny tries to make her walk away while she still can, but she needs her software code for Jared's sake. She explains that her father created Other Life. She didn't understand why he wasn't using it to save Jared, so she took the product and registered it for a patent in her name. The only way to find Ren's hard drive is to break into the new Other Life headquarters. Cass guides Danny and Ren over the phone as they navigate the building. Ren walks up to Byron's office. When he sees her, he panics and tries to call Sam, but Danny forces him to sit and do nothing. She finds her external drive on Byron's bookshelf and punches him before they leave. Byron calls security and they're chased through the building. They reach Cass's car, but see her being kidnapped. Danny and Ren drive to her father's house so she can print out the Other Life code for Jared. No one's home, but the original Other Life printer is still in the garage. Ren works on software code all night. The following morning, she talks to Danny. They've never been good at communicating. She says sorry to Danny. He accepts her apology and they make love. She wakes up when she hears her father come home. He knew something was wrong when Sam phoned him and was charming. He confronts her about stealing from Sam. She argues that she only took what was hers. He says he knows that argument because she did the same thing to him. They're tense, but eventually hug. He was scared and asks what they did to her. Ren explains that she's coded an experience for Jared that gives him the sensations and memory of his last day awake, but gives him the choice not to drown. She prints the completed Other Life program and goes to the hospital. She gives it to him, and he wakes up. She's delighted until he starts seizing. She unplugs his life support to save him from suffering. Ren sits on the bed next to her brother's body. Sam steps out of the shadows and wonders aloud what Jared saw before he died. As they talk, she sees flashes of Byron and Sam arguing in the old headquarters. Byron begs her to awaken. She walks out of the hospital onto the beach where Jared washed up. She drowns herself in the waves and wakes up in the real world. It's only been a bit more than a minute since she went under. Sam is relieved there was no damage and the program was successful. Ren punches him. Later, she apologizes. He says it's all right. She tells him about her plan to withdraw from the company and take the Other Life patent. Sam is upset and asks what happened in the virtual prison, but she doesn't answer. Ren goes to the funeral service for Danny. She phones her father and explains what Sam did. He's angry, but she says she's okay and wants to meet him at the hospital. Sam calls and asks for 5 minutes of her time in person. She's reluctant, but agrees to meet. He and Byron found unusual things in the data recorded from her limbic system. They realize she broke out and are excited about the possibilities. Ren still wants to leave with a patent. Sam says she owes him. He stops her from walking away and asks her to sit. He talks to her as a distraction and reaches for a tube of Other Life liquid. Byron sees this and does nothing. Sam holds her down and forces the liquid into her eye. He asks Byron to join him. Byron initially refuses, but helps Sam record data so they can make money off the new product. Ren is back in the prison room. She calms down and tells herself it's just code. She's broken out before and can do it again. The timer speeds up as she cycles through the prison sentence faster than intended. She wakes up and attacks Sam, smearing Other Life liquid in his eye. She instructs Byron to help her. Sam is struggling and she grabs a needle to wake him up, but first waits for him to reach day 365. It restarts, and she knows he's experiencing the horror she went through. She wakes him up and walks away from Sam and the company they built. She meets with her father. They hug and decide to turn off Jared's life support. They grieve together as they pack up his things. Ren finally gains the courage to visit the pier where she stood when she saw Jared's body wash up on the beach.